It's Friday the 13th as the bear pivot breaks, the bull pivot breaks, and a fight ensues for control of the market. Who will win? This is Invest with Jacob. Okay, guys, so for the past few weeks, I've been telling everybody in my trading room that this is a very pivotal point in the market and not something you really want to be trading super aggressively on the swing side, as there will be a lot of whipsaw and lots of moves up and down, and that's what we're seeing. The market came down into a pivotal support area where the bulls fought back, and now we're seeing push and pull from the bulls and bears. So the question is, who's going to win? I'll get into that in just 1 second, but first, if you're new here, welcome to the show, guys. My name is Jacob Gabbard, and this is Invest with Jacob, where we use Elliott Wave Theory to break down the SP 500 and the NASDAQ. I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below so that you can get our daily S&P updates, our trade setups, and our buy alerts. All right, guys, so another incredible day for us. We were 3 for 3 on our day trades. That's 7 wins in a row. You can see on the screen our last week of day trading from last Thursday till this Thursday. It's something we've added to the room that's fairly new. We use an algorithm I've developed, and in our last week, we were 14 and 3 for a 35% gain overall with several 100% winners. So as you can see, people are doing well, and if you want to be part of this winning team, stay tuned for later in the video. But for now, let's jump into the chart and take a look. Okay, guys, so here we are on the 4-hour futures chart for the S&P 500, and we are zoomed out a little bit here because in order to see the full bear count, you need to zoom out a little bit, and we'll zoom back in a little bit for the bull count as it's a little more micro, as where the bear count is a little more macro. So we have diagonals in both directions with the break of both pivots, and with that, we have to now kind of take a step back and let the market tell us what's next. We don't always have the answers, and in this case, we do favor the downside a little bit more because of the bigger setup that we're in. So if we zoom out on the ES, the way we have it counted right now is that this is wave 1 down. And remember, I've talked about this for a while, and it's the reason I pivoted to my bull count is that we only got 3 waves down off of this high. When you only get 3 waves, that is not an impulsive move and generally will be corrective. It still can, and we can still go higher. However, 3 waves also can lead to a diagonal structure playing out, and that's kind of what we're seeing here. So this would be wave 1 down, okay, wave 2 up, wave 3 down, and then wave 4 back up into wave 1 territory, which is what you want to see in a diagonal set. And then we would be starting wave 5 down, and that wave 5 should target around this 40.96 area. The 1764 is a pretty good target for diagonals overall. And so we would look for this to come down and hit this target here to complete the diagonal structure and give us a wave 1 of C to the downside. Now, I don't necessarily have a primary right now. If I did, it would be this one, just because it's further along in its structure and it looks a little bit better. But overall, we want to see what the market's going to give us before we get too aggressive in either direction. And so we're day trading right now and doing very well, as you could see in the intro. So the way this will play out, this looks like it could potentially be the A wave down of A of wave 5. So what does that mean? That means that this was A, B, C, and that would be the A wave of 5. And remember, A, B, C waves in diagonals. Then you'd have a B up, and then you'd have a C down into our target area to complete that overall move down for that 1 of C. So that'd be how we'd be looking at the ES for the bear count in this diagonal structure to the downside. Again, targeting about 40.96, which would break the bigger bull pivot, the more important bull pivot than the one that broke yesterday. Okay, so if we zoom in a little bit here to the 1-hour count, we can look at the bull structure. With the move today falling down through the pivot, we were looking to hold at 43.72. Okay, so we have a diagonal to the upside here trying to play out. Okay, and what we do is we draw our wave 1 and 3 line here and our wave 2 and 4 line. So wave 2 and 4, and that gives us our expanding diagonal. And so this would have been wave 4 down into wave 1 territory, and then you'd look for an A, B, C back up here toward the 44.90 area, 4500 area to complete this diagonal to the upside and a bullish wave 1. Then we'd look for a really sharp sell-off in wave 2 back toward about the 42.70 area. And then we'd look for a takeoff from there. So diagonals in both directions. We kind of need to see a little bit more from the market. And this is one of those wait and see moments. There are tons of times that we have a very strong idea of what's going to happen in the market. It's almost every day that we have that. And then there are times where it's prudent to sit back and say, I need the market to tell me a little bit more, and this is one of those days. So we're going to wait, see what happens here on Friday, see if they can push up into this 44.90 area or 44.50 to get started, and then 90 overall. for a bigger diagonal in the bullish count, or if they're going to start to continue the selling after a brief bounce here down to give us more of that wave 5 in the bearish diagonal. A break of this 4290 area, 4300, I'm sorry, a break of this 4300 area on the ES would be a strong indication that the downside diagonal would be playing out as you would go below the wave 2 starting point, which diagonals can't do in wave 4, so that would be an invalidation point overall. I preferred that they hold 4325 or so, or even the low today is fine, but I would not like to see them get too much lower than they are right now. Over on the NASDAQ, okay, on the NASDAQ, the count's a little bit different, and I did warn that we have some very different things here. You could have a truncated fifth here where this is going to be a wave 1 up to start the move. So your wave 1 moves over, and your wave 2 moves over like this, and you'd be in a bigger kind of move up from there. But as we had it marked currently, we would be looking at this kind of move, but overall this 345 isn't great, and they've started to fall down here out of the 15447 area. They didn't quite hit the target. They do technically have 5 up, but again, given this bottom down here where you have a low, basically a double bottom, it's like 3 points, and then this move down, you've got almost a triple bottom type look here. So it's not real clear exactly how this should be counted, whether it should be a truncated fifth, where this wave 1 is over here, probably counts a little better overall for the structure, to be honest with you. And then you would have, you know, the rest of your move up here, where you have 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and 5, and this could be a bigger wave 4 like this. So the NASDAQ's not abundantly clear either, especially given this weird bottom that we have here, this double bottom where they didn't quite make a low. NASDAQ is famous for deep retraces, but this is a little bit confounding because you should have got another low here to complete this move to the downside and then a pretty sharp move up. And we didn't get either. We didn't get another low, and the move up was kind of tepid until we got to this area over here, and then they took off from there. So I think this counts best as potentially just 3 up so far, and if that's the case, it could very easily be that B wave we've been talking about in 3. And so if the ES is going to make its downside move, the overall downside range for the NASDAQ would be a much bigger diagonal as well, where off of the high you have wave 1, wave 2, and then you have A of 3, B of 3, and then C of 3 down here toward the 14068, 13856 level, and that would be a C wave. So we'd be looking for an impulsive move down. It was pretty strong to the downside today. We could call that basically a wave 1 of 1, where you get wave 1 down, and then 2, 3, 4, and 5 for a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for this move down. And again, that would come down toward the 14,000 level in this C of wave 3. Then we'd look for a wave 4 back up toward this 14,800 level, and then a stronger sell down here toward the 13,276 area. So NASDAQ on the bearish side could be a much bigger diagonal playing out into that 13,276 area. For the bullish side, it's not abundantly clear given that weird double bottom that we have. Again, I think it counts better moved over, as I have it, where you have 5 up for 3 here, and today's low is 4, but they really need to hold the wave 1 high and then push higher pretty soon. Guys, if you love the information that I put out in these videos and you want real-time market updates from me, you need to check out investwithjacob.com. There's a link down in the description. Go ahead and click that link, and it'll take you right over to the website. Once you're there, check out our membership plans area. We have 2 incredible monthly plans that both come with a 7-day free trial because I want you to get in there, make sure you love it, and become part of the trading team before you ever spend a penny. You can cancel at any time. We also have our Elliott Wave for Beginners online course that is helping real traders make real money and understand the market in a way that makes sense. You can finally understand why the market moves like it does instead of trying to follow the news cycles where good news makes the market go down and bad news makes the market go up, and it doesn't make any sense. It is 25 videos where I go through 3 different sections. Our intro, where I go through your expectations, mindset, the KISS theory, and why it works. The chart setup and tools, where I go through each tool you need on your chart and why and how you use it with Elliott Wave, as well as the Elliott Wave for Beginners portion, where I go through each of the waves, what their confirmation points are, their failure points, as well as corrective depth theory, the pivot, theory of alternation, everything you want to know about Elliott Wave so that you can understand the market in a way that makes sense. The really cool part about this is it does come with both of our monthly rooms. So if you don't want to buy the course on its own, you can become a monthly member, and the course is included for free. In our first room, the Invest with Jacob room, you get all of my real-time market updates, all of my buy and sell alerts, all of your Elliott Wave questions answered, a midday video where I go over exactly where we are in the counts and what to expect, as well as the training material you just saw. We trade the SPY and the QQQ and we swing trade, which means our trades last anywhere from a few days to a few months. So we don't trade quite as often as a day trading room does. However, we have started day trading with an algorithm, and as you can see, it was going very well. But you can also get day trading and individual stocks in PT's throne room. In there, you get everything you get in the Invest with Jacob room, as well as individual stocks, day trading, and PT's reduced risk binary method that just crushes the market. He gets you in at a cheap price and gets you big multiples on your money, and it's how he structures his trades. It's so unique. It's something you really have to see to understand, and that's another reason we give you that 7-day free trial. He also started a challenge account where he put $4,000 into an account trading mini ES futures, showing you how to build a small account into a large retirement or savings account. Guys, we would love to have you in these rooms so we can all make money together. All right, the key takeaways for today. We're in between two diagonals, which makes the market very sloppy, and it's a time you want to step back and observe more than be aggressive. Right now, I do favor the downward path where we would get an ABC structure and a bigger move down toward the 4100 to 4096 area to complete this diagonal to the downside for the bears. Then we would look for a sharp reversal after that and a bullish squeeze. For the bulls, they need to hold above 4,300. I'd prefer 4,325 and push higher in this wave 5 toward the 4,450 to 4,490 area. And that would give them 5 up in a diagonal, and we would look for a sharp retrace off of that. Over on the NASDAQ, a little bit different of a count, tougher to do with a double bottom. It's hard to tell if that's a wave 2 or a truncated fifth. We're kind of counting the move up right now as best in 3 waves and still needing another high. If they do continue to fail to the downside, we would look for a pretty sharp sell-off down toward the 13,856 region for wave C of 3. Then we look for a bounce in 4 and down in 5 overall towards 13,276. However, if the bulls can hold and push back up into the 15,500 to 15,600 area, that would give us 5 up on the NASDAQ, and look for a pullback off of that. Guys, it's the weekend. Grab yourself a drink, get away from the computer, have fun with your family, and I will talk to you next week.